Whenever someone asks how I became a nanny, I tell them the truth, that it was a complete and tragic accident. It was early fall when I miraculously landed myself an interview, weaseled my way past a white-gloved doorman, and unknowingly changed the entire course of my 20s. Hunter goes down for a nap around 10, and he usually sleeps until 12 or so. I'll write it down before you start on Monday, of course. He could sleep more or less, but what's important is what time you get him down. Consistency is key. I am following Sasha around her $5 million apartment as she says this. I was hired to be their nanny about 5 minutes ago, and we're now 90 seconds into a house tour, but I'm finding it difficult to focus. My experience with children doesn't go much further than being an occasional date night sitter, and I've just been given a job title that I'm both relieved and mortified by. At the PR firm, I'd watch the executives arrive in their suits, carrying green juices, and I'd wonder if I too could build a career there. But unlike the executives, I was taking home $408 a week, and I needed something that paid more, not in 10 years after I'd paid my dues, but right then. At 22, and regardless of my income, the federal government expected a $1,000 monthly check for me later that month. I was every millennial you've ever met, and I was in a real bind. It was my best friend who came up with the genius plan. Babysit? I asked, confused. Lila and I were sitting at our kitchen table, all the doors locked and deadbolted. We'd been inseparable for nearly a decade, but had only lived together for 2 months, and we were still afraid of our new surroundings. On the first night in our New York apartment, we heard a series of pops from our balcony on 101st Street. We joked nervously that they were gunshots, but eventually convinced ourselves it was fireworks. A few minutes later, we heard the sirens. You babysat in college. Why not just do it for a little while? Lila was referring to Saturday night gigs when I was out of dining hall points and desperate for cash to get me through. I have no interest in babysitting, but the alternative is leaving New York, just like my parents said I'd have to. And the only thing worse than changing diapers would be telling them that they were right. Do you have any idea how expensive New York City is? My father asked when I told him I planned to move there. We were standing over the hood of my car, dead on the side of the highway. He was messing around with the engine, trying to get it running again. I sat inside, leaning out the window, fist around the butter knife he taught me to hotwire the car with after I'd lost the keys too many times. Periodically, he waved at me to give it a rev, and in between, we argued. Do you? I shot back. You've been to 7 states in like your whole life.